Good evening. It's time for the Iman Report. It is Tuesday, October 19th. If you like what you see, please be kind and hit that subscribe button and give this channel a big like. Now we are previewing college football for this week. We're going to start with Appalachian State against Coastal Carolina. Appalachian State, surprisingly, the Coastal Carolina favored by 3.5 points. Or excuse me, Coastal Carolina favored by 5. The Appalachian State Mountaineers are 4-2. They are up and coming, but I don't think they're going to be any match for. Coastal Carolina. Give me Coastal Carolina to win, Coastal Carolina to cover. Next up, we get the Arkansas Red Wolves against the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. Raging Cajuns favored by 18. Arkansas State is they are 1-4, 1-3 on the year. And the Raging Cajuns are 4-0 on the year. So 5-1 on the year. Right. The Raging Cajuns are going to win, but I don't think they're going to cover at 18. Tulane at SMU. Mustangs, the 13.5 point favorites. And they are currently undefeated, and Tulane and Sonny Dykes has done a really good job at SMU. Sonny Dykes could get another opportunity at a Power 5 this offseason when this season's all said and done. Tulane, not good at all. They have not won a game this year, so I'm going to go. This one will go SMU wins, SMU covers at 13.5 points. Florida Atlantic against Charlotte 49ers. Florida Atlantic is Charlotte currently 4-2, Florida Atlantic 3-3. This should be a very good game. Florida Atlantic favored by 7. This is probably a game I would stay away from betting-wise. And I think I'm going to take Charlotte to win this game. Then you get San Jose State against UNLV on Saturday. San Jose State opening as the 5-point favorites over UNLV. UNLV is terrible at San Jose State, not exactly having the greatest of years at 3-4, but still at 5 points. I'm going to take San Jose State to win, San Jose State to cover. Middle Tennessee against UConn. Middle Tennessee, the 15.5 point favorites. UConn has just been playing awful at college football this year. Middle Tennessee will have no problem with them at 15.5 points. Middle Tennessee to win, Middle Tennessee to cover. A pretty good showdown this week in the AAC against two of the better schools in the AAC, the soon-to-be Big 12U. Central Florida going up against the Memphis Tigers. Memphis 4-3 on the year. Central Florida under year one of 3-3. So this is going to be a very close scoring game. The line is 1.5 points for UCF. This is another one where I'd lay off betting from. But if I had to choose, I would probably take Memphis in this game. Utah State against Colorado State. Colorado State as the 3.5 point favorites in the Mountain West. Colorado State 3-3 on the year. And Utah State at 4-2. This one could be another one that could be a very close game here in the Mountain West. I'm going to go at 3.5 though. I'm not taking the points on this one. I think the Aggies go in and get the win at Fort Collins. Washington against Arizona. Arizona probably one of the worst colleges in the FBS. They have not won a game this year. Arizona 0-6 on the year. And you've got Washington 2-4, still a better school. I'm going to take Washington as favorite by 18. I'll take Washington, but I'm not going to take... I might take... Go ahead and... But I don't know if they're going to cover at 18 points, though. Wake Forest and Army. Wake Forest, the 3-point favorites over Army. Wake Forest having a really good year in the ACC, 6-0 on the year. And Army, one of the better military academies this year. Army is... And the Black Knights are currently... Army is 4-2. But I like what I see out of Wake Forest. Wake Forest is going to get the win. Wake Forest to cover at 3. Michigan against Northwestern. Northwestern is terrible this year. Northwestern is the new doormats of the Big Ten. Michigan has been good this year. Michigan favored by 23.5 points. I do think Michigan's going to go win the game. But at 23.5, I would take the points. Cincinnati and Navy, 27.5 point favorites over Navy. Cincy should have no problem with Navy, but at 27.5, this is one where I'd take the points and not. I don't think Cincinnati will cover. Penn State and Illinois. Penn State, the 23.5 point favorites over Illinois. I think Penn State will certainly win this game, but not at 23.5 points. That's another one to lay off the spread. Oklahoma and Kansas. Oklahoma is going to win this, but I don't even see a spread on here. Wisconsin and Purdue. This could be one of the better Big Ten games this week. Wisconsin 3-3. Purdue 4-2. Jeff Brom is definitely one of Jeff Brom's better years. Maybe things are starting to turn around at Purdue. Purdue's 2 wins away from being bowl eligible. This one, I'm at 3 in points. I'm not taking the. This is another one to take the points. And I think Purdue goes in and gets the win over Wisconsin. Clemson versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh coming in as Pittsburgh going to Clemson as the 3-point favorites. ACC has kind of been trashed this year. But Pittsburgh 5-1 this year. Clemson 4-2. With Pittsburgh and Wake Forest potentially, with Pittsburgh maybe having Orange Bowl aspirations at this point, and would love nothing more than to get a win over Clemson. Wisdom says don't bet on this game. I do think we're going to find out how good Pittsburgh actually is when they go to when they go to Death Valley. But don't take Pittsburgh. Don't bet on this game. I'm going to take Clemson to win just because the game is in Death Valley. A good showdown in the Big 12 this week. Iowa State, the 7-point favorites over the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Oklahoma State 6-0, Iowa State 4-2. And Oklahoma State has been good this year. They have been rolling. And Wisdom says I'm taking Oklahoma State to win this game. Ole Miss and LSU. Heisman hopeful Matt Corral going to LSU under LSU's interim coach as Coach Ed Orgeron was fired this last week. In his interim head coach, lame duck coach Ed Orgeron. But I just don't see LSU being motivated to win this game. I think Ole Miss comes in, Lane Kiffin gets a big win, and Matt Corral keeps his Heisman hopes alive. And Ole Miss comes in and covers. Oregon, UCLA going into Eugene as the 2-point favorites. Surprisingly. Oregon narrowly escaped last week with a win over Cal. They have not looked that great the last couple weeks. And UCLA would love nothing more to get a win over them in Pasadena. That being said, I kind of think I am going to take Oregon in this one, and don't bet on this game either. Louisiana Tech against UTSA. UTSA, the 7-point favorites over Louisiana Tech. UTSA undefeated at 7-0. Louisiana Tech is bad at 2-4. UTSA should win, should cover at 7. Air Force and San Diego State. Air Force favored by 3.5 points over San Diego State. That being said, I am going to take San Diego State to win. Ohio State and Indiana. Indiana going to the Horseshoe to play Ohio State. This one's a no-brainer. Ohio State wins. Ohio State maybe covers. I would not take the points at 20. North Carolina State at Miami, Florida. North Carolina State coming in as the 3-point favorites. NC State 5-1. Miami's just been bad this year. Miami at 2-4. Give me NC State wins and covers at 3. South Carolina, Texas A&M. Texas A&M playing some good football the last 2 weeks, getting a big upset over Alabama. Comes in, demoralizes LSU last week. I do think Texas A&M is going to get the win over South Carolina, but this is another one where I would not pick them to cover. I think Texas A&M wins, but does not cover. And last one on the spread this week is Notre Dame and USC. I do think Notre Dame's going to win this one. Notre Dame covers at 6.5. Those are my picks against the spread for the big games this week. Everybody have a good week and a good night.